border crossing could help to increase trade between Georgia and Russia. But that doesn't mean that relations between the two governments are getting any closer.
In the past, it must have been intense and nearly impossible to dig a hole and make a way to travel from one country to another. China has been unstoppable in bridging the gap between Russia and Georgia, two powerful nations that could ease geopolitical tensions and aid China in several economic collaborations. Journey with us across 3 territories, a railway journey: China, Russia, and Georgia. If you're a traveler, adventurer, or even a history buff looking to explore one of the most unique and diverse railway routes in the world, the China to Russia to Georgia railway journey offers an experience like no other. This incredible train route takes passengers on a journey across continents, weaving through the heart of Asia and into Europe, crossing vast landscapes, ancient cities, and modern-day trade hubs. It's a trip that not only showcases the sheer scale of these 3 countries, but also highlights the beauty, culture, and history of each region. While the journey may not be a single continuous train ride from China to Georgia, the connections are well established, allowing you to travel by train through China, Russia, and Georgia using several different routes. Each leg of the journey offers something special, from high-speed trains to scenic, historic routes. Let's break it down step by step. Let's start in China. The adventure begins in China, a country that has quickly become one of the world's leading economic powers, and its railway system is no exception. China's train network is vast, modern, and expanding, making it one of the easiest and most efficient ways to travel across the country. Most international journeys from China to Russia begin in Harbin, a city in northeastern China, which serves as a key gateway to Russia. From Harbin, travelers can catch a train heading north to Manzhouli, a Chinese border city where passengers will cross into Russia at the Zabaikalsk railway station. This is where the Manzhouli-Zabaikalsk crossing becomes significant. It's here that the railroads meet and transition from the Chinese system to the Russian system, which operates on a slightly different gauge. The journey across China is quite an experience in itself. You'll pass through urban hubs like Harbin, known for its impressive Russian-influenced architecture, and make your way through China's northeastern countryside, characterized by lush landscapes, fields, and rural towns. Depending on the time of year, travelers might even witness winter festivals in Harbin, including the famous Ice Festival, before continuing their journey westward to Russia. Now, we've reached the biggest country in the world. Have you been to Russia yet? Once you cross into Russia, the journey becomes even more historic and awe-inspiring. The Trans-Siberian Railway is one of the longest and most famous railway lines in the world, stretching from Moscow all the way to Vladivostok on the Pacific Ocean. This sprawling network of tracks makes it the perfect route for travelers coming from China to Georgia, although the full Trans-Siberian Railway won't be directly part of this journey. However, the connection from Zabaikalsk to Moscow is a pivotal leg of the journey. After crossing the border into Russia, travelers will experience a transition into the Russian rail system, which might involve a few changes at stations, but ultimately you'll make your way toward Moscow. From there, depending on the itinerary, you may either choose a direct route to Georgia or explore more of Russia's interior. The rail ride through Siberia is undoubtedly one of the world's greatest train experiences. The landscapes change dramatically, with snow-capped mountains, vast taiga forests, and open plains stretching as far as the eye can see. A train ride across Lake Baikal, the world's deepest freshwater lake, is especially scenic. This portion of the journey gives you a deep appreciation for just how massive Russia is. It's hard not to be awestruck by the sheer size of the land you're passing through. If you have time, the Russian portion offers the chance to stop at some interesting cities along the way, such as Omsk, Novosibirsk, and Yekaterinburg. Moscow itself is also a must-see, with its vibrant history, stunning architecture, and modern vibes. But for now, let's keep heading south toward Georgia. Entering Georgia. After the long trek across Russia, it's time to head into Georgia, a country that blends European and Asian influences, both culturally and geographically. Georgia is famous for its ancient traditions, beautiful landscapes, and its deep-rooted history. The Georgian railway system connects directly to Russia, and the journey to Tbilisi, Georgia's capital, is relatively short compared to the long haul across Russia. The connection from Russia to Georgia is typically made at Vladikavkaz, a Russian city in the Caucasus region, where the train moves into Georgia and continues south to Tbilisi. The journey through the Caucasus Mountains offers jaw-dropping views of rugged peaks, valleys, and dramatic scenery. Once in Georgia, the experiences shift completely. Georgia is known for its wine-making traditions, stunning medieval architecture, and vibrant Tbilisi, where you can explore ancient churches, cobblestone streets, and the modern side of the city. You can also explore Batumi on the Black Sea coast, where the warmth of the Mediterranean meets Georgian hospitality. Georgia's railway system is well developed, making it a great starting point for travelers to explore the entire Caucasus region, including neighboring countries like Armenia and Azerbaijan. While there isn't a single direct train route from China to Georgia, the journey is definitely possible and incredibly rewarding. By navigating through China, Russia, and Georgia, you'll cross three vastly different cultures, landscapes, and histories, all while experiencing some of the world's most famous rail lines and scenic views. This railway journey highlights the incredible diversity of the Eurasian landmass and the important connections between countries that span from the Pacific Ocean to the Caucasus Mountains. Whether you're traveling for business, cultural exploration, or simply seeking a grand adventure, the China to Russia to Georgia railway journey offers an unforgettable experience of global connectivity. Taking the railway from China to Russia to Georgia is more than just a journey. It's an exploration of human ingenuity, historical significance, and breathtaking landscapes. Each part of the route offers its own unique experiences, from the modern marvels of China's railways to the historical grandeur of Russia's Trans-Siberian Railway, and finally to the rich culture and natural beauty of Georgia. Whether you're crossing snow-covered Siberian plains, gazing out over Lake Baikal, or soaking in the warmth of Georgia's famous hospitality, this railway journey is one of the most unique ways to traverse three distinct regions of the world. It's an adventure that offers not only a glimpse into the cultures and history of each country, but also a deeper connection to the vast and diverse world we live in. But how are these three huge countries related, and are they gathering for a surprise economic and political collaboration? Understanding the complex geopolitical trio. When we think of international relations between countries, the dynamics can often be complex and multifaceted, shaped by history, geography, politics, and economic interests. The relationship between China, Russia, and Georgia is a perfect example of this intricate web of factors. Though these three countries are situated in vastly different parts of the world, they share historical ties, trade interests, and geopolitical considerations that create both cooperation and tension at times. From ancient trade routes to modern-day political maneuvering, these countries have been linked in various ways, with China and Russia playing dominant roles on the global stage, while Georgia sits at a strategic crossroads between Europe and Asia. The relationship between these three countries has deep roots, dating back to ancient times when trade and cultural exchange were conducted along the famous Silk Road. This network of trade routes stretched across Asia and connected China with the Mediterranean world, passing through both Russia and Georgia. While Russia didn't emerge as a unified entity until much later, the Silk Road made use of the Caucasus region, where Georgia is located, as an important transit point for goods, ideas, and cultural exchange. This ancient connection laid the groundwork for future ties, with Georgia serving as an intermediary between the East, China, and the West, Europe. The Mongol Empire, which once controlled a significant portion of Central Asia and parts of Russia, further cemented the role of the region in global trade. This historical context is important because it illustrates how Georgia has always been a significant player in the larger geopolitical landscape, situated between powerful neighbors like Russia and China. The strategic partnership of China and Russia. In the modern era, China and Russia have developed a strong strategic partnership. Both countries share significant economic interests, including energy, trade, and military cooperation. They also face common challenges, such as countering the influence of the United States and other Western powers. Over the years, Russia and China have increased cooperation in energy, with China being one of the largest consumers of Russian oil and natural gas. Russia, in turn, benefits from being able to sell these resources to one of the world's largest economies. The power of Siberia gas pipeline, which runs from Russia to China, is a key example of their growing energy ties. These energy resources have made the relationship between the two countries even more crucial, with both sides benefiting economically and strategically. However, despite their partnership, Russia and China are also in a position of competition, especially when it comes to influence in regions like Central Asia. Both countries are vying for economic and political influence in these regions, which brings a level of tension to their relationship at times. While China has invested heavily in the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, a massive infrastructure project that connects China to countries across Asia, Europe, and even Africa, Russia has its own influence and aims to maintain control over former Soviet states, including those in the Caucasus, the gateway between East and West. Now, let's turn our attention to Georgia, a country that is often seen as a crucial link between Europe and Asia. Located at the crossroads of the Caucasus, Georgia is bordered by Russia to the north and shares a coastline on the Black Sea, offering access to both eastern and western trade routes. This geographic positioning makes it a significant player in regional and global geopolitics. Historically, Georgia has sought to align itself with Europe, and it has made several efforts to integrate with Western institutions like the European Union, EU, and NATO. However, this alignment has been met with strong opposition from Russia, which views Georgia as part of its sphere of influence. The tensions between Georgia and Russia are particularly evident in the conflict over South Ossetia and Abkhazia, two separatist regions in Georgia that declared independence with Russian support in the early 2000s. Despite these tensions, Georgia maintains a careful balancing act in its foreign relations. It seeks to maintain strong ties with Europe while also managing its relationship with Russia and increasingly with China. Georgia's foreign policy is thus shaped by its desire for independence and sovereignty, while navigating the influence of both Russia and China in its region. In recent years, China has made significant inroads into Georgia, driven by its interest in expanding its influence through the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. China views Georgia as an important transit point for trade between Asia and Europe, and as such, has invested heavily in infrastructure projects like railways and ports. The Baku-Tbilisi-Kars Railway, which links Georgia to Turkey and the rest of Europe, is one example of this growing partnership. China's increasing economic involvement in Georgia has been met with cautious optimism from the Georgian government. On one hand, these investments bring much-needed infrastructure development and economic opportunities. On the other hand, there are concerns about China's increasing influence in the region and the potential for economic dependency. Georgia's relationship with China is also complicated by its desire to maintain its political and economic independence. While China's economic presence in Georgia is growing, Georgia has been careful not to align too closely with Beijing, given its desire to maintain a balance between Russia, China, and the West. As for Russia, its relationship with Georgia has been one of tension, particularly since the 2008 Russo-Georgian War, when Russia recognized the independence of the separatist regions of South Ossetia and Abkhazia. Since then, Russia has maintained a strong military presence in these regions, and relations between Moscow and Tbilisi have been strained. Despite these tensions, Georgia still maintains important economic ties with Russia, especially in areas like tourism, agriculture, and trade. However, Georgia's long-standing ambition to join Western organizations like NATO and the EU continues to be a point of contention with Russia, which views such moves as a direct threat to its influence in the region. The relationship between China, Russia, and Georgia is a fascinating and complex mix of cooperation, competition, and geopolitical maneuvering. China and Russia share a strong partnership, but also compete for influence in Central Asia and beyond. Meanwhile, Georgia finds itself caught between these two giants, balancing its economic interests, territorial sovereignty, and aspirations for closer ties with the West. As global dynamics continue to shift, the relationship between these three countries will undoubtedly evolve, shaped by changes in regional security, economic development, and international alliances. For now, though, the China-Russia-Georgia relationship remains a crucial element in the broader geopolitical puzzle of Eurasia. Let's go back to the massive railways. If you've experienced traveling via these paths, write your comments below. The Trans-Siberian Railway. The Trans-Siberian Railway is not only one of the most iconic railways in the world, but also an engineering marvel that links the heart of Russia with the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Stretching from Moscow, Russia's capital, all the way to Vladivostok, a key port city on the eastern coast, the railway is the longest continuous rail line in the world. The Trans-Siberian Railway covers a massive distance of approximately 9,089 kilometers, 5,002 miles, making it a vital artery for both domestic and international trade, travel, and cultural exchange between the East and West. This historic route has not only shaped Russia's internal transportation infrastructure, but also has facilitated the connection between Europe and Asia for over a century, linking Russia to the broader world. Its legacy goes beyond its physical span. It's a symbol of the bold ambition of the Russian Empire and the Soviet Union, and in the modern era, it continues to be a key player in global commerce and travel. The idea of a transcontinental railway across Russia was first envisioned in the late 19th century. Russia, a vast and sparsely populated country with immense natural resources spread across the Siberian expanse, required a means to connect its European heartland with its growing eastern territories. The idea to build a railway that would span the country from Moscow to Vladivostok came to fruition during the reign of Tsar Nicholas, who recognized the strategic importance of such a project for military, economic, and colonial ambitions. Construction of the railway began in 1891, and the Trans-Siberian Railway was completed in 1916 during the waning years of the Russian Empire. The completion of the line allowed for the movement of goods and people across the vast distances of Russia's interior, facilitating the extraction and export of minerals, timber, and agricultural products from Siberia, which were vital to the Russian economy. In the decades that followed, especially under Soviet rule, the railway became an even more integral part of the country's infrastructure. The Soviet government heavily invested in maintaining and expanding the railway system, ensuring that it would continue to serve as a primary route for goods and people across the USSR's diverse regions. Today, the Trans-Siberian Railway is primarily a Russian domestic line, but its international significance remains undiminished. As the longest railway line in the world, it still serves as a vital route for goods and passengers traveling across the Russian Federation. The line connects major Russian cities like Moscow, Yekaterinburg, Omsk, Novosibirsk, Irkutsk, and Vladivostok, allowing for efficient transportation of both people and freight. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Trans-Siberian Railway is its international connectivity. Although the line itself runs entirely within Russia, it connects to international routes, facilitating travel and trade between Europe and Asia. A key point of connection is the Manzhuli-Zabaikalsk crossing in Siberia, which links the Trans-Siberian Railway to China. At Manzhuli, a Chinese border city, the Trans-Siberian Railway connects to the Chinese rail network, forming a crucial link between Russia and China, the world's second-largest economy. The route serves as an essential component of the growing trade relationship between the two countries, particularly through the China-Russia-Mongolia corridor, which is part of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. This railway connection is also increasingly used for the transport of goods from China's eastern ports to Europe, bypassing longer sea routes and providing a more direct alternative for shipping products across Eurasia. Moreover, the railway provides access to Russia's ports on the Pacific, making Vladivostok an important hub for international maritime and rail trade. Vladivostok itself has grown as a key port city for both imports and exports, further emphasizing the importance of the Trans-Siberian Railway in the global supply chain. This route is also known for its scenic journey. While the Trans-Siberian Railway is primarily known for its commercial and logistical functions, it also has significant cultural and touristic value. The train ride from Moscow to Vladivostok is considered one of the world's great railway journeys. Travelers on this iconic route pass through an array of dramatic landscapes, from the European plains of Russia to the snow-capped mountains of the Ural Mountains, the serene beauty of Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake in the world, and the vast taiga forests of Siberia. The journey is a breathtaking adventure that offers travelers a unique opportunity to witness the diverse natural environments and cultures that shape this vast and expansive country. The journey typically takes 7 days, and for many tourists, it is an unforgettable experience of both adventure and luxury. There are many different ways to experience the Trans-Siberian Railway, from budget options to more luxurious and all-inclusive packages, with varying amenities such as private cabins, fine dining, and excursions along the way. For many, traveling the Trans-Siberian Railway is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that combines the romance of train travel with the thrill of exploring one of the world's most remote and fascinating regions. As part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, the Trans-Siberian Railway has gained renewed importance in recent years. The initiative aims to create a modern-day Silk Road that connects China with Europe and the rest of the world through land and maritime routes. The railway line through Russia serves as a crucial part of this transcontinental corridor, making it easier and faster for goods to be transported between Asia and Europe. The eastern part of the Trans-Siberian Railway has become especially important for the increasing volume of freight coming from China and heading to Europe. With the rise of e-commerce and the demand for faster delivery times, the Trans-Siberian Railway has become an essential alternative to sea routes, offering a faster, though still costlier, method of transportation, challenges and future prospects. Despite its significance, the Trans-Siberian Railway faces several challenges. The infrastructure of the railway system requires constant maintenance and upgrades to handle growing traffic and changing technologies. Extreme weather conditions in Siberia, where temperatures can plummet to -50 degrees Celsius, -58 degrees Fahrenheit, pose significant challenges to train operations. Additionally, the political climate and geopolitical factors, especially related to Russia's relations with neighboring countries, can impact the railway's operation and international trade. In the coming years, improvements to the railway network, such as modernized tracks, advanced technology for monitoring train traffic, and the expansion of freight services, are expected to continue, especially with Russia's increased involvement in the Belt and Road Initiative and the growth of trade between Russia and China. The Trans-Siberian Railway stands as a testament to human engineering, connecting the sprawling expanse of Russia from Moscow to the Pacific Ocean in Vladivostok. While it has evolved from a tool of empire and a Soviet legacy to a vital part of international commerce, it remains as relevant today as it was over a century ago. With its role in linking Russia to China and Europe, the Trans-Siberian Railway continues to facilitate the movement of goods, people and culture, making it a central artery in the ever-evolving global economy. From a practical route for freight and trade to a scenic route for adventurous travelers, the Trans-Siberian Railway offers a journey through time, space, and history, linking east and west in ways that few other transportation systems can match. There's another way to Russia from China. This railway is more concentrated on trade and market, the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor, a link for trade. When you think of trade routes, the Silk Road probably comes to mind, an ancient network of pathways that connected the East and West for centuries. But in the modern era, one of the most important trade corridors is the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor, a railway system that links China with Russia through Mongolia. This route isn't just a marvel of modern engineering, it's also a key player in the global supply chain, helping to move goods between two of the world's largest economies, all while passing through the heart of Central Asia. The China-Mongolia-Russia corridor starts in Harbin, a major city in northeastern China. Harbin is known for its Russian influences and cold winters, but it's also an important hub for trade and commerce, making it the perfect starting point for this vital rail line. From here, the railway travels through Mongolia, a landlocked country that serves as a bridge between the East and West. Finally, it connects to the Trans-Siberian Railway in Russia, linking it to the broader Russian rail network and offering access to cities like Moscow and Vladivostok. The route may sound simple, but the journey is far from ordinary. It spans nearly 2,000 miles, covering a range of landscapes, from China's industrial heartland to the steppes of Mongolia, and then into the vastness of Siberia. Along the way, the railway passes through Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia, before hitting the Trans-Siberian Railway network and opening up a massive range of destinations across Russia. It's a key route for trade. The China-Mongolia-Russia corridor is more than just a scenic route. It's a crucial link in the global trade network. Both China and Russia are huge players in international commerce, and this railway makes it easier to move goods like coal, oil, timber, and manufactured products between the two countries. The corridor is especially important for trade between China and Europe, as it provides a faster and more direct route than traditional sea shipping. For example, goods from China's industrial zones, whether it's electronics, clothing, or machinery, can travel north through Mongolia and reach Russia, before continuing on to Europe via the Trans-Siberian Railway. This is not only faster but also more cost-effective than maritime transport, which can take much longer due to oceanic routes. The flow of goods isn't one way either. Russia exports raw materials like oil, natural gas, and timber to China, which uses these resources to fuel its growing industries. As trade between the two nations continues to expand, the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor becomes even more important for global trade. The role of Mongolia. Mongolia might seem like a small player in this equation, but it serves as a critical link between China and Russia. It acts as the gateway between the two countries, and the fact that the railway passes through Mongolia makes it unique. The Mongolian economy also benefits from this infrastructure, as it allows the country to capitalize on transit fees and provide logistical services to both China and Russia. Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia, has become a crucial transportation hub due to its position along this railway corridor. The country has invested in improving its rail network to handle the increasing volume of goods traveling across its land. Mongolia, a landlocked country, benefits significantly from the increased trade passing through its borders, making this route as important for the country's economy as it is for China and Russia. One of the most significant aspects of the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor is that it connects directly to the legendary Trans-Siberian Railway, one of the longest and most iconic railways in the world. This provides access to a broader rail network that spans the entirety of Russia, linking Moscow with Vladivostok and connecting to European rail systems as well. The inclusion of the Trans-Siberian Railway in the route allows for the seamless movement of goods from China to Europe, further enhancing the importance of the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor. With the Trans-Siberian Railway as its endpoint, the corridor allows for faster access to Russian markets and beyond, connecting to international shipping routes and providing access to ports on the Pacific Ocean. Future of the corridor. As trade between China and Russia continues to grow, the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor will only become more vital. The railway itself is being expanded and modernized to handle increasing demand, with high-speed trains and advanced technology playing a role in improving the efficiency of freight and passenger services. There are also plans to expand the rail network to other parts of Mongolia, opening up more regions to trade and commerce. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, China's massive infrastructure project aimed at improving global trade routes, has put the spotlight on this corridor as part of a larger effort to link Asia with Europe via land routes. The development of this railway and other similar projects has made Eurasian trade faster and more accessible, allowing countries like China, Russia, and Mongolia to increase their role in global commerce. The China-Mongolia-Russia corridor is a modern marvel that connects three countries in a way that facilitates trade, cultural exchange, and economic growth. By linking China with Russia through Mongolia, it serves as a crucial bridge between two of the largest economies in the world. This railway route provides an efficient and cost-effective alternative to traditional maritime shipping, cutting down transit times and making it a preferred choice for moving goods across continents. From its role in facilitating global commerce to its importance as a transit hub for Mongolia, the corridor is integral to the economies of the countries involved. As trade between China, Russia, and Europe continues to expand, this railway will undoubtedly become even more vital, ensuring that goods, resources, and people continue to flow seamlessly across the Eurasian landmass. Whether for business, culture, or simply the joy of traveling through diverse landscapes, the China-Mongolia-Russia corridor offers an exciting and significant connection in the heart of Asia. While China and Russia maintain a strong partnership, they also vie for influence, particularly in Central Asia and other regions. On the other hand, Georgia finds itself navigating between these two powerful nations, trying to balance its economic priorities, territorial integrity, and ambitions for closer ties with the West. As global dynamics evolve, the interactions among these three countries will inevitably change, influenced by shifts in regional security, economic growth, and international alliances. Nevertheless, the relationship between China, Russia, and Georgia remains a key piece in the broader geopolitical landscape of Eurasia. If you've reached this part of the video, you must have liked it, so subscribe for more content like this.